Welcome to another episode of Crying Pays, but Botany does it. We're here in Round Rock, Texas. Got a blank canvas right here. Just had the lawn killed. All right, paid a guy to come by with the sod cutter, toss it up. $300 plus the sod cutter rental. Homeowner's paying for it. We got a delivery of cool native plants. We got the Kill Your Lawn yard sign, and we got a free dump truck load of mulch, about 15 cubic yards worth, delivered for a mere $50 by the city of Austin. So the mulch was free. You just had to pay for delivery. We're gonna plant it up. We're gonna make it look real nice. You can see we're in the suburbs, lawns, crepe myrtles all around us. We're actually gonna restore a little bit of what was lost. So here we go. So anyway, this is the plants we got them from a wholesale nursery. Got some desert willow, Chelopsis linearis, Myrospermum susanum. I forget the common name. It's Fabaceae. Beautiful white flowers that smell very good. Got a couple Damianitas, Chrysictinia mexicana, underutilized plant in the central Texas area, despite how nice and pleasant the foliage smells. God, this guy's doing a classic car thing over there. He's fucking gassing me out. We got a whole bunch of liatris back there. Got some Ilex vomitorius, some yawpons. Got a smoke tree. I don't know where Willie got that. This is from my friend Willie's nursery. We got some salvias, some conoclinums, some Putilea trifoliata, which is citrus family Rutaceae. That'll get big. I like planting small, and then we're going to install some drip irrigation. You plant small, you're not paying for these massive plants. You don't have to be disappointed if they die. But these aren't going to die because we'll put them on drip, and they're all from this area. Got a bunch of I guess that's Salvia chamydrioides. It looks different from the Salvia chamydrioides I know. That's happy as a pig and shit in full sun. Got some Molenbergia, Lindheimeriana, or is it Lindheimeri? I don't know. One of the, it's named after that dead kraut. No offense to the krauts. But that's a great bunch grass. Got some more salvias. Got some elderberries. Bunch of good shit. And Rus trilobata, of course, right there, native sumac. Bunch of good shit. This might not even be enough plants, but it's a good start. And I asked the mulch dump to put the mulch in a corner of the yard. I put it in the center. That's fine. We'll work around it. We're going to plant first because this stuff has to get in the ground before it dries out. Then we're going to start spreading mulch, and then we'll finish planting where the mulch piles are tomorrow or the day after. But you can see we killed the sod, ripped up the sod, then flipped the sod over so that the roots can die, and then the sod will just become part of the ground once again. And then any remaining Bermuda, we're probably going to spot apply small applications of glyphosate, which sends a lot of the permaculture people into, it sends them into shock. They start hyperventilating, keeling over, if not cursing you outright. But small spot applications of glyphosate are fine. Oh, it's like digging through butter. The soil's not too dead. Got to just flip the sod back, dig a small little hole, plant it, immediately water it and mulch. So we got Chrysictinia neomexicana, Damianita, Asteraceae, sunflower family, and we got Wedelia hispida, same family. This will get big. The Damianita grows a little bit slower, but smells incredible. The leaves smell incredible. So, I don't like grouping all this stuff together. I'll do like a little zigzag pattern, twist it up a little bit. Water this stuff in once you plant it. You want to get them in the ground ASAP because then they're, in a more regulated temperature. The ground takes much longer to heat up. There's, don't have to worry about moisture loss, etc. But, I like spacing randomly. I don't like even lines. I'm not planting a goddamn orchard. I'm trying to mimic nature. Nature doesn't look like an orchard or like the landscaping in video games. So, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, make it nice. Just want to make sure they're spaced accordingly. And then, of course, we pay attention to the way the sun moves, which is east to west, that way south. That's what I think about. And then, of course, the eventual, how tall something gets. That's what determines where I space stuff. I was hitting something. I thought it was building foundation. That's just the bedrock. Judging by how easily it's breaking and the fact that it's turning to a fine white powder, that's the country rock. That's limestone, which is good because a lot of this stuff is limestone adapted. Grows on much thinner soils than we have here. Yeah, every locale is different. I've killed lawns in San Diego, Miami, Chicago. Central Texas is where I've encountered the limestone or the bedrock closest to the surface though. So this is new, but again, so I plant native plants. A lot of these, like the salvias and the Damianita, they grow on practically no soil limestone escarpments to begin with. But yeah, that is definitely limestone. That is not concrete. That is not old building foundation. Holy hell, that's cool. Now, the homeowner informs me that right here where this mound is, where we just planted an agave and a salvia, there was an ash tree that died. It makes sense that it died because the roots couldn't go deep. They couldn't penetrate the limestone very efficiently, apparently, so they couldn't reach water. So during drought times, when it didn't rain for a while, the tree just wasn't getting moisture, leaving it susceptible to disease. Fraxinus ash trees normally grow, they're normally riparian trees. They grow in arroyos and stuff. And definitely we've been encountering, because those roots couldn't go deep, we've been encountering roots spreading all the way throughout the rhizosphere here. And again, there's only about 6 to 8 inches of soil there before you hit bedrock. So it makes sense why an ash didn't do that well. But all this stuff, again, grows in much thinner soil than this in habitat, so it should do perfectly fine here. Like those desert willows, I've seen those basically growing out of rock in desert arroyos. Catalpa family, Bignoniaceae. Salvia chamandrioides, Muhlenbergia lindheimeri. Got a flat of these 4-inch Vernonia lindheimeri. Might struggle a little bit in the full sun. That's why the mulch is important, since those roots don't go very deep. The mulch will shield the ground from getting baked by the sun. Whitebrush, Aloysia, Gratissima, more salvia. Got holes dug. Just playing it by ear, you know, but avoiding grouping too much of the same stuff together and avoiding lines. See, we got an ice bucket too, not for keeping drinks in, but for sticking our whole head in there to cool down. It's about keeping your core temperature cool when you're forced by circumstance to plant in mid-afternoon in Central Texas. You know, if someone told me I was going to be planting a garden in the 95-degree heat, I'd probably say, okay, I do this all the fucking time anyway. Anyway, so you can see the war zone effects definitely here, all right? But we're getting plants in, then we're starting to put some mulch in. This stuff, like these Vernonia lindheimeri, were in 4-inch containers. The roots are not that big, so they're going to wilt until the roots can grow down a little bit, because they got so much top foliage. This should stop in a few days. If it doesn't, you snip the top foliage that's wilting off, so that the parts above ground equal the roots above ground. You know, you don't want to have the drain open while you don't have the spigot on. And so that's what's going on when things wilt. You can see this is wilting too, just because it's hot out. They should perk back up by 6 p.m. and that should only happen for a few more days. And then as the roots grow in, the roots will be able to fully support the distal-most foliage, and it'll be fine. But either way, we're still going to put mulch on the ground to prevent the sun from baking the shit out of the ground, and also makes it look nice. Makes it look nice and hides the dead grass. But you want to keep the mulch away from the shoots of the plant, because the fungus, beneficial fungus, saprotrophic fungus, will just eat the mulch, and then if it's right up against the plant, it could move to the plant. And if the plant's weakened and not able to produce the phytochemicals that help resist fungus, the plant can end up dying. So you want to keep the mulch away from the stem. So anyway, we finished just half the yard. We got some stuff over there. We got to do this tomorrow, though. There's going to be a path right here, so that's why the mulch was dumped there. You can see it's getting later in the day. Stuff is perking back up now that the majority of the heat is gone. Me and James, of course, are thoroughly destroyed. Salvia chamandrioides, Petalia trifoliata, Rutaceae, elderberry. Got a rus, a bush sumac, yaupon. Got some other holes we got to fill. Got a bunch of Wedelia hispida going in there. So it's gonna, all this stuff will fill in. Then we're gonna put in, lay down some rolls of 1/2-inch irrigation tubing. Takes about 40 minutes to set up. Cover it with mulch. Biggest pain in the ass is going to be covering with mulch, but again, that's not that hard, just with using big 20-30 gallon buckets. So, and then of course the fun part is coming back later and seeing how all this stuff is doing.